hands for Bryan. Clap it up. Come on, everybody. Let him hear you.
Thanks, Zach. It's my first time here with you guys at Mad Hatter in Fort Worth. How's everybody doing this nice, warm Texas July evening? Pretty warm and sweaty. I had an idea for July the other day. I was thinking since last month, June, was Pride Month, and that was a big hit. I thought this month, July, could be Wrath Month, just kind of keep it going. I have a lot of wrath that I want to be able to express myself openly and have people be accepting and supportive of that and say things to me like, oh, hey, you're celebrating Wrath Month, good for you, I support you, instead of saying things like, dude, stop throwing temper tantrums and yelling at everybody. But Wrath Month, it's an idea, it's a vision of mine, but it's kind of hard to organize. I tried applying with the city for a permit to have a Wrath Month parade, but they said that what I was describing was actually just a riot, and since those are illegal, they wouldn't let me have the parade. So it's mostly a pretty grassroots movement at this point. Basically, all I'm doing these days is I just try and make random people angry every day in July to kind of grow the movement, that one guy, I guess at this point I should probably speak out on that one guy who kind of overdid it with Wrath Month the other day. You shouldn't express yourself with guns, even during Wrath Month. That's a little bit across the line, making us all look bad there. Can you guys believe we had a political assassination attempt the other day?
No.
I mean,
actually, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, in my lifetime, we've had a lot of really heated elections, but never seen any kind of an actual assassination attempt. The closest I've seen was that one time somebody threw a shoe at W, and he was all like, "Look out, an evildoer! That shoe might have nuclear weapons in it." But can you believe the shooter was only 20 years old? I'm like, how do you get so fed up with politics by 20 that you're willing to murder a politician? He hadn't even voted yet. What do you think was going through that guy's head? I mean, we know what the last thing that went through his head was, but before that, it was the same thing, I guess, that went through Donald Trump's head. That's my conspiracy theory on it, is that it actually went through his head in one ear and out the other. That's why it's okay, because it didn't hit anything important. You know how we all have those things that kind of bother you a little disproportionately? You're like, this really shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it just kind of irritates me. I have one of those things, but it's kind of hard to talk about. Not because it's hard to explain, it's just a little hypocritical. Because my thing is, I can't stand it when somebody is having a normal, serious conversation, but then they use the phrase pet peeve. And I know saying I'm irritated by the phrase pet peeve is kind of like saying I'm offended by cancel culture, but it's true. I can't stand the phrase pet peeve. If you want to complain about something for me to take you seriously, we use grown-up words. If you say pet peeve, I'm going to roast you and be all like, well, you want me to check under your bed for monsters too? You got a little pet peeve. I worked with a woman one time years back. We worked together for a couple of months. She was training me on this new process that we were doing at the plant I was working at. And so every day she would be teaching me stuff. She'd be like, here's how we test this thing. You run this machine, you do this info, this is what you're looking for. Do it like this, don't do it like that. If you mess it up like that, it'll ruin everything. That really gets on my nerves. I'm really easy to get along with, but that's just one of my pet peeves. Okay, so here's this thing. You put this info in, you run this machine, you get this test. You do it like this, you do it exactly like this. If you mess it up, it really gets on my nerves. I'm easy to get along with, but that's one of my pet peeves. And then these things, make sure you clean them as soon as you're done running the test, because that stuff dries in them. It's really hard to clean, and it's really irritating. I'm really easy to get along with, but that's one of my pet peeves. It's like she kept repeating this script. And I have in the back of my mind, I'm trying to fight myself not to go off on her, because I'm just like, lady, that's too many peeves. You're like running a peeve shelter in your head. You need to let somebody adopt some of these peeves. Maybe not that one. That one's unhealthy. You should put that peeve down. But at this point, if you keep them all as pets, you're like a crazy cat lady of having peeves. And it's like, you're not easy to get along with. You're easy on the eyes. There's a difference. You don't know what that means, but it means that you're cute, so people just don't tell you how annoying you are. So that's about all that I had time for tonight, all I really prepared. So I appreciate you guys. This is my first time out here. If you want to celebrate Wrath Month with me, you can come fist fight me out in the parking lot later. I'm up for whatever.